What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful night or day. Today we're going to be playing some V Rising, first episode for the gameplay series. Still getting used to everything again since the last beta. I am using the Void skill now for my primary attack skill, and I always use Crimson Aegis for my shield. I absolutely love it. But normally I use Chaos Volley for my attack skill, so the Void one's going to be a little bit of a weird one to get used to, but I kind of like it. AoE is pretty nice, and I think it'll be really useful in PvP if I'm able to land it properly, but I think Chaos Volley might be a better bet in PvP. I know I'll definitely, when I'm actually going to get into a PvP fight, I'm going to be switching to Arctic Leap as my ultimate, but for right now, the Volatile Arachnid should do the trick for PvE at least. And I'm probably going to switch that to Frost Vortex when I'm able to take on the Winged Horror. I'm going to see if I can switch that ult for PvP to, or sorry, PvE to Frost Vortex instead. But for right now, Volatile Arachnid does what I need it to, and I like it. It does decent damage. So right now we're in the Harpy Nest in Silverlight Hills, and there's actually a little bit of a bug going on right now with everybody's rooftops. We logged in after a patch this morning, and for some reason all of our roofs were gone. None of the floors or walls were, and this is happening to everybody on the server. But yeah, everybody's roof is basically just not there anymore. So they're going to release a patch in a little while, and hopefully that's going to fix it up. And they said that they're going to restart the servers again to do that. They haven't yet, but I'm kind of hoping I can get at least one farming run of Brighthaven in before they do that. That way I can also show you guys a little bit of the city, because Brighthaven's my favorite part of the game itself. One thing I really like, and you'll notice this when you read through some of the dev blogs, is that they do the patrol system that they have for this game really, really well. It's really cool the way that they have that, and I also love the fact that the Brighthaven city actually has a bunch of NPCs, you know, running throughout it. It feels like a living, breathing world. And another one of my favorite mechanics is how bosses and, you know, different types of mobs are able to fight each other, just like this. These harpies can fight the humans. Undead will usually fight against humans as well. It's really cool, really, really cool to see. And there's even some cases where you'll see bosses fighting each other, like in the Iron Mine in Dunleaf Farmlands. Meredith the Bright Arrow, she's normally in there, but there's also an undead commander mini boss that normally spawns in there. And anytime that they're both roaming, they'll get in fights with each other. So it's like a free boss kill that you can get. It's really, really cool to see. But during the beta, I did also want to see if they were able to. Let me turn my music off. Actually, hold on. Let me disable music because I'm going to use different kinds of music for this. But I did during the beta post a suggestion that it'd be great if we could see world bosses in the game, like full-on world bosses. Because right now we do have bosses that already are capable of roaming, like Jade the Vampire Hunter, Tristan the Vampire Hunter, so on and so forth, Lydia the Chaos Archer. But they're not full-on world bosses. It'd be great if we could get like a system message that spawns in and says, hey, this world boss is spawning here, and you can maybe even see it on the map. And then players can band together. You know, maybe it takes like 10 people, 6 to 10 people to take down, kind of thing. Or you know, it might just take a really long time if you don't have that amount. And that'd be really cool. I think that'd be awesome to see. You can see it on the map, and it would get people all in one place for a PvP situation as well. You know, they might band together, or they might try to fight each other for the kill. Who knows what'll happen? And also, trading caravans would also be really cool too. You know, it could be a thing where you can see it spawn on the map, and then you can see where it's going. So again, it can be a hotbed for resources if you want to raid the caravan. And then what also be cool, because I'll show you this in a second, but like you can see these humans, they're all throughout the city. But I have the deal. I was able to get the DLC finally. But you can actually go human form after you kill Beatrice the Tailor. And this is grandma form. This is the DLC form of it, but the regular human form will look a little bit similar. But you can actually hide amongst most human NPCs. These ones in here, they're probably going to detect you either way, like the holy units. Not the people themselves. They're kind of dumb. They won't, you know, notice. But the holy units will. And also, if you have a, let's say you turn into human form, but you didn't do it before scaring one of the villagers, like I did that other one, then if a holy unit passes by, they're going to see that they're scared, and they're going to see you, and they're going to be like, oh, you're the one. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful about that. Also, see, you can see how they're getting scared right now. So now the aggro of these units is starting to fluctuate a little bit. There's just way too much sunlight going on. Because I'm sure you've already seen a baseline of the game already if you're watching this. But yeah, we do have sunlight to deal with because we are vampires. Ooh, a golden chest. Thank you for bringing me in here. Hello. So that is something that you have to always be wary of. But yeah, you get used to it, and it's actually a really interesting mechanic. I think V Rising as a whole is a very unique addition to the genre. I do think long term though, they will probably need to get some kind of modding support alongside, of course, adding more content. It's pretty quick to go through the progression chain at the moment. Like you can see me, I'm level 71, and this is after what, almost 2 days of the game being up in early access. It's even it's very possible to get to the max gear score, which is like 81 or 80. I'm sorry, it's 84, I believe. You can get there in like 1 day, really. And yeah, if you know what you're doing, you got a group of 4 people, then yeah, you can absolutely get there in 1 day. And hell, my group, we played the first day, but we went to bed at the end of it, so we played about 15-16 hours, I'd say. But I was the one mostly playing that 15-16 hours, and one other person was like going about 14-15, but the other two, they logged off midday, so we didn't have all 4 people on, and we were still going this fast, which is really cool. So yeah, you can progress really, really quick through the game right now, and that's something that needs to be, kind of addressed with time. It's just going to take time. The game is, very fresh after all, and if you were in the previous betas and you were able to look at what they've added from the previous beta to now and what they've changed, I should say, it's pretty impressive. And like the V-Blood bosses, the mechanics, everything that they got going on there, like they all feel unique. And even the regular NPCs, a lot of them feel unique as well, which is really nice, because most times in games, it's just like a variant of the same thing, really, like over and over and over again. So yeah, it's really nice that they actually took their time and put a lot of effort into these bosses. Like they really, really did. So I think it's worth waiting, but I do hope also that they do get mod support at some point. It would be nice if we could, because we can start private servers, and I think they also made a post yesterday about offline servers, that they do have plans to support that. But we're still gonna need modded stuff. I think with mods, this game would be absolutely insane. And most survival games have modding, and that's also kind of what brings in popularity for a lot of them too. So I would say, yeah, this game probably will need it long term. And I don't know if they have intentions to do console, maybe in the future, but that could, potentially be a really nice thing too. The game itself, it might not be as bad on console as, most games would be. The only thing is the skills. We do have like about, if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so about 7 things. We got our travel skill, 1 ult, 2 V-Blood ability skills, and then 2 secondary weapon skills alongside the basic attack. So that might be the only thing that gets a little bit tricky, mapping that out for the controller. But if they're able to find a way to do that, because Final Fantasy 14's on there, and they have a hell of a lot more buttons than this. So if they're able to find a way to do that, I think it'd be just fine. Okay, let's go this way. The sunlight always gets extremely aggressive when you start getting closer to the end of day. I personally notice that at around 5 or 6 p.m. in the afternoon in game time, it gets mega aggressive. Like no matter where you are, you're just going to be in sunlight constantly, and it feels like it ticks faster at that point in time too. Kind of like you thought you were safe, hell no kind of thing. There we go. Yeah, I do love Brighthaven. It feels like a living, breathing city. I'm also gonna probably make like a video on all the suggestions that I think would be really good for, V Rising feature-wise, what they could add. But it's a little early for all that. But it'd also be nice if we had roaming vampires, like NPC vampires, because the way the story goes, we're, lore-wise, we're probably not the only, like, players are not the only, vampires. We do have Six the Sunderer that roams through the Cursed Forest, and he's an actual vampire, and that's who we get bat form from, which also I was able to cheese the crap out of the guy last night. I killed him. But, what's it called? We don't really have any full-on NPC roaming vampire groups. We do have actually werewolves, and there is a singular werewolf that normally roams, which is really interesting. He roams like all over the map, and there's actually quite a few of them, I think, but they're only in single parties. It'd be nice if we could have parties of werewolves too. But also, like for the vampires, they could be roaming bands of them. Maybe we can, you know, be friendly with them, maybe not. Or maybe they can also like put settlements to the torch, you know, kind of like siege them. And then we could, like if they came into Brighthaven, for example, and they started fighting the humans, and then we can go in after them and either join the fray or wait for them to kill everybody. That'd be pretty interesting. Could even be like a dynamic event sort of thing, because I did have quite a few suggestions on the dynamic event side of things, because it seems like this game is capable of doing stuff like that, pretty crazy things. So I think that this is one of the few games in a while that I've seen that I feel it could actually happen in. Got a lot of potential already. Definitely going to need some more weapons in here too. I know during the one of the last Q&As, they actually did mention that a little bit. They're going to develop a sort of a, you know, wish list, you know, of what players want in the game, and then they're going to kind of go from there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'd love to see a weapons. And they said that in response to, like, if we're going to see more weapons, they're going to, you know, find out what players really want and then go off of that. So more weapons will probably be coming, you know, in the future, but it might not be the first thing on their list. But I'm so glad it's nighttime right now. The Brighthaven docks is a really good area to get fish oil. You're probably going to run into that problem of needing fish oil when you get to around the Dawn Thorn armor era, pretty much, because you're going to need fish oil for pristine hide. And also, and I'll show you where this area is on the map. I'm over here in the northwest corner of Silverlight Hills, right over here. And this is the Brighthaven docks right here. There's also cities like Mosswick Village, and also Dawnbreak. You can actually find quite a bit of what's it called, fish oil there, because the humans, they do drop fish oil, like the regular workers, if you kill them. So that part's pretty cool. You'll be able to just farm on them and get it. And I believe that they can also have it in their houses too, like for the containers that you can go into. I think they also have them in there too. Hate these guys, these knights. I got one of them at the house. And I think there's already been some people making videos on stuff like this, but don't sleep on the servant mechanics. Like when you're able to, you know, access the castle throne, you get that quest line for the castle throne and send your servants out on missions. Don't forget to do that. It's extremely useful. You're gonna need to you'll probably need to take it slow with the gear. Like you give yourself, when you get to a new tier, like when you get to Dawnthorn, you can take that armor for yourself and then give the Hollow Fang that you had in the previous tier, or the Merciless Hollow Fang, to your thralls, and then start gearing them up that way. That's what I did, because once you get to, like, when you're starting out the game, it goes bone, reinforced bone, and the reinforced bone takes the bone weapon to make it. Then it's copper, and then merciless copper, and the merciless copper takes the copper weapon to make it. You know what I mean? You got to use the copper weapon in the recipe, and then you go to iron. So when you get to iron, for example, you don't need that merciless copper weapon anymore, because it doesn't, you know, you don't need it to get to the next tier. So at that point, you can give that to your NPCs, and that way they can start gearing up, and you can start sending them out on missions, because you'll need to gear them up not only to increase their power, like if they're defending your base, but also for the mission part of it. You'll need to do that too. So that's something to keep in mind. Just make sure that you try to upgrade their gear as best you can, and you'll be fine. Make sure you send them out on missions whenever you can. Start with like the copper mine, sending them there, just to get that, take that load off. That way you don't have to focus on it. You can just focus more on like iron and getting ready for silver. And then what's this? Oh, brute 53%. We already got a brute 98%, so we're good. Yeah, and then as you progress further, you can just start moving them up the chain, move them up to iron, and then eventually you can move them into like the Cursed Forest areas and Brighthaven areas to farm for you. What I normally do, because you can set how long you want them to be on missions. When I'm online, I set it for 2-hour increments, right? So if I'm online, I just set them to go on 2-hour missions, because when they get back, I'll be here to reset it again, because you get a message in chat. And then when I'm going offline, like for the night, I set it on an 8-hour, and I always tell my clan to do the same, because when you set them for when you set the longer missions, they'll get more resources, and it's also going to increase the chance of success. Even though you should only really be doing these missions if you see 100% chance to succeed. If they fail, they shouldn't like full on die, because from what I remember, I did have that happen one time in one of the betas. Like it said they failed the mission and that they died, but I was able to just go to the coffin like normal and resummon them again. So yeah, it was fine there. Got a paladin and a freaking light weaver, and I got both of those units at my base too. If you're gonna look at which thralls are really useful for like base defense, like which ones you should get, definitely look into light weavers and paladins. Light weavers especially though, they're gonna be great for base defense. You're gonna love them. Holy shiz. I'm sweating. Okay, not sweating so much anymore. That was close. Pop a vermin salve. That was supposed to hit you. What's her... Oh, she's got 40%, does she? You know what? I was going to bring her back, but then that happened. Whoops. Yeah, make sure you don't accidentally kill a... I'm so glad it wasn't higher than 40%. Oh, man. Make sure you don't accidentally kill a unit that you're trying to bring back to base, by the way. Just make sure that you... Minor Sunbrew. I don't have room. Actually, hold on. Make sure you go to Dominating Presence, and that way you can go ahead and, you know what I mean, start charming them, bring them back to base, and then put them in a coffin or put them in a prisoner cage. And you also want to make sure that you get prisoner cages as soon as possible. You'll need to kill Vincent the Frostbringer, who's located just above the iron mine in the militia encampment, although he is known to roam, so you want to track him anyway, level 40 boss. And then you'll be able to craft the prison cages with iron. How much fish oil we got? 48. All right, I'm good to go. Alrighty, we are just about home, running through Dunley farmlands at the moment. Sunlight is getting aggressive yet again. I almost brought a priest back, but unfortunately the patrols just kept popping up, so I didn't have a chance to. There was just too much going on in Silverlight Hills, and I also ran into somebody while I was like fairly low HP, around 25-50%, or well 40% actually, so I didn't want to risk it for a biscuit. Instead, I just decided to grab a horse and come back home. So we are here. We're still building the base up a little bit, but it's at least looking a lot better than it did that first day. Like I said, there is this roof bug going on that is super annoying. There's no like, well, down here there's not going to be a roof, but like up there's no destroyed walls or floors or anything like that. And unfortunately, like everybody just logged in, like everybody on the server, and all of a sudden our roofs were gone. Looks like it's turning nighttime, but like if I walk right here, for example, you'll see that I'm taking sun damage because the roofs are just not there right now. It did fix itself if you like replace the walls in the rooms, but not all of them got fixed when that happened. And for some reason it keeps popping up with that message, Castle Heart decaying randomly, even though we know it's not decaying. But yeah, anyway, looks like everything's okay for now. I think the roofs are coming back to us finally. I'm glad they didn't have to full on restart the server. And it's like looks like the silver ore is done cooking. Okay. Yeah, because right now we just reached the silver age like yesterday. So we're now in the process of getting our weapons created and getting everybody geared up. So I've just been farming schematics on top of that because we need to do that for the research. And it looks like I should have enough to research something else. Let's see. Let's hope I get lucky. Nope. And here's Lila right here. She's not geared up yet, but she's going to be one of my favorites. I'm going to get another light weaver just like her though, because that's going to be amazing to have. Light weavers. I also got a paladin. I do have a fire archer in here. This brute is going to be very nice. Ajax. You want to get NPCs that you find super annoying, because if they're annoying to you, they're definitely going to be annoying to the enemy. And what's going to be great is that in these small corridors, when they get in here and you got like a fire archer who can just lay waste to, you know, everything in a room, and then You got our brute here who can provide that stun, as well as the paladin who can use a lot of AoE, actually, including their AoE ult, and the light weaver who can dash around really nicely. That's going to be a really good asset. All of that's just going to be a really good asset to add to the team, and probably add up to being able to kill most groups. And I'm also gonna try to get a priest, and I got this knight here too, because they're really good at chasing people down. But yeah, I want to get a priest because they're going to be able to heal our units as well. I don't know if they'll be able to heal us too. It would be nice if they can, but we'll see how that goes. All right, let's try this research. Let's see what we get. Ah, come on, man. Distinguished carpet collection. Well, we do have the Blood Moon boots already, and I do have that crafted. I have that on, so we got a little bit lucky there, but I do need to get the rest of the gear going. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get some sanguine weapons today, so we're just going to have to keep on farming schematics over and over and over again. But also the golden jewelry, we're going to keep farming that too, because that's going to get our next set of necklaces and stuff like that crafted. We're going to need to craft these into the next tier of necklaces. So I'm going to go ahead and dump everything out of my inventory. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of how things are going in the game right now. I just wanted to give a brief, breakdown. And as you can see, the base itself, it's coming along pretty good. I think we're probably going to do some more stuff down here decoration wise. So it's a work in progress. And there's nothing on this side. This is just the exit here. Our last base, the one that we had in the previous betas, the base location, it was somewhere around here. It was this one here. We had a lot more space to work with, but this one is pretty good location wise, especially since in bat form you no longer are capable of carrying resources in bat form. Also, I can show you bat form, but I'll have to get rid of all my resources that are on me right now first, so I'll probably have to show you next episode. But like I said, I was able to actually cheese Six to Sunderer. What I did was I got 98% brute blood, because we do have I'll show you in a second, but we do have prisoners that have high percentage brute blood. So I just grabbed one of those when we had a blood moon, because the blood moon should enhance your blood effects. And then I went over there and I beat the crap out of them, beat the living crap out of them. And also bosses do scale based on how many people are there. So if you're just playing by yourself, the boss is gonna be scaled down to the point to where you could take them on yourself, kind of thing. So these are our prisoners, and we do already have a blood vial case. I just made this morning. So as you can see, we got lucky. We got a 100% rogue blood. We got 100% warrior blood. We got 98% brute. We did have 100% brute as well, but he accidentally got killed. Somebody didn't know what the misery and the health, or they didn't see that he was already half health, so he accidentally got killed. But yeah, we're gonna get some more. Hopefully I'm gonna find a scholar one. Tried to find one yesterday. I think I had a 54%er, but she died on the way here. But I'm gonna see if I can get another one going. But yeah, overall, you're gonna see a lot more decorations put up in here, probably in the next 2 or 3 episodes, I'd say. At least after the 3rd, we're definitely gonna get some more decorations going in here, make it all nice and spiffy. I might look at a couple layouts just to kind of go off of. Maybe some trailers, because I'm normally pretty bad at building, so I'd normally need to look at a couple templates to get something really nice going, but we'll see what we can do here. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you next time, and on the next one I'm probably gonna do one of the final bosses, one of the 3 bosses if we can. Later, folks.